I can go back and imagine how I felt or how it felt to be in the womb, like submerged in the womb, it feel like this. Like when I have my headphones on, like if these were like truly noise canceling headphones, well, not even, because even in the womb you can hear sound. So to just have these muffling the sound, and then this feeling of floating but warmth as the sun is piercing down on me, and then my eyes just close, like that's how I would remember the womb feeling. Or I don't want to say imagine because I was there. One would argue the level of awareness and consciousness, but I feel like right now, in this moment, apart from maybe floating in the ocean or in some body of water, this is the closest I felt to being in the womb. And it's very tranquil, and it's very peaceful. And it's interesting that both of those areas where I feel this is submerged and surrounded by nature, yes, they're outside, white noise is coming in, but there's also a symphony of the forestry that's around me. The squirrels and the birds tickling through the leaves. There's the soft shade of the wind passing through the trees. There's the comforting sunlight beaming down on me. This is tranquility. I feel full with gratitude. Cilantro, added like the stems of the cilantro and parsley into my water. Beautiful, refreshing. I used to not like cilantro like at all. Definitely felt like it had a very soapy taste. And after I was gonna say I'm not sure if it's maturing or like the detoxing, but I think it's both in itself, because detoxing is a form of maturing. There's lots of various forms of maturing, I believe, and that's one way to amplify it or exemplify it. I think that's the word that I want to use. And so I would attribute it to the detoxing, because prior to, I still couldn't, I won't say couldn't, I still didn't desire or care for the taste of cilantro. I love how when you say words like over and over again, not all the words sometimes, keep doing it, how it just starts sounding like just sounds. Like my brain almost stops computing it as a word and just listens to just the sound. If that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I don't know if you guys can see me, but I'm gonna attempt to sit on these rocks while I chat with y'all. You try this at home, children. Alright. So, I am so grateful for the ability to manifest and the ability to change one's mind. Honestly, it's like a luxury. It's a luxury that everybody has, but I feel like not often enough do we really take it into consideration. The power in which we have in our words, in our thoughts, is that it stems from a thought first. It's really a beautiful thing. The topic here is that's what I was saying. Let me grab my phone. Like I'm really sitting on rocks. Like it's like an incline of rocks. I'm grateful for it because this go round I did not have a stool with me, and you know, even if I did, I don't think it would have worked out. So it worked out. And I'm praying and I'm knowing and I'm gonna see it work out, that I get some good quality microphones so you all can hear me better. That's it right there. That's how it works. That's how what I'm talking about works. That's how manifestation works. I truly, in my whole heart, believe, and I know that it will come to me in an aligned and divine and graceful way, in due timing. I'm here to share a thought, though. A thought that occurred to me the other night. As I was talking to my mom yesterday, and I was telling her about how my day had been going, because I had just such a profound and beautiful day yesterday. I met this older gentleman by the name of Sharif, Mr. Sharif, that's his last name, at the post office. And I went there for a simple thing as dropping off my brother's mail. And that ended up taking like anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, in which most of the time I spent inside the car just kind of hotboxing it like a sauna. It was a sauna. It was very cleansing at the moment, at the time. It was just overall, it was very cleansing and refreshing to just do what I'm doing now, just sit in the sun and be able to bask in it and embrace it for what it is. Yeah. So I was telling my mom about the goings-ons of my day, and I started telling her how I was meeting these different people and how it went as far as Mr. Sharif following me to one of my favorite spots in town, and us sitting down and having a beautiful conversation. And it was all because I stopped and I chatted with him at the post office. And now I have a lifelong friend, and I just met him yesterday. But it was something beautiful about that shared companionship that I was able to experience as well as provide. It was just beautiful. I'm gonna have to start finding another word other than beautiful, but that's just, how else can I articulate this? I'll find another way. I will. And so I was telling my mom about this, and rightfully so, her motherly instincts kicked in, and she was expressing her concern for my safety as far as speaking with strangers and having them, follow me to a coffee shop. Which I explained to my mom, I'm not slow. And she knows this, but it's just her motherly instincts kicking in. But I was explaining to my mom, I could feel his presence. I can feel his aura, his energy, like his heart, his soul. Although that was my first time meeting him in this lifetime, it felt safe. And so that's why I carried on with it. And I say that to say, as my mom's cautionary advice, she was like, you need to stop talking to strangers so much. And especially letting them follow you to different places, which I 100% agree. Don't go out and, harm's way and put yourself in predicaments in which you can't get out of, or you just feel uneasy about. I believe it's a gut thing. There it is. It's a gut thing. And trust your gut, because the gut is really the first brain. The main brain that we call in our heads it's merely a transmitter of feelings, of energy and emotion. But our gut is what is true, which leads me to a whole nother. We can go on a whole nother pathway talking about the gut, and we will, but on another video. Will it be on another video, or is that where I need to speak? I feel like oftentimes in this society, unfortunately, we don't really lean on or listen to our gut instinct. I think there's several reasons to that. But the trajectory in which that I've been on right now and am on in life is based around health. And so I feel like a lot of times nowadays why we're unable to listen or tap in and trust our gut is because more often than not, living in America, westernized capitalism, industrialized communities can often cause us to get clogged up with things that aren't of necessity or provide us with nutrients that are actually sustainable and fueling for the body. And so I feel like that's one main reason why maybe it is that people aren't in tune or tapped in or truly listening to their gut instinct. But I was trying to, did I try and articulate that to my mom yesterday? Not really, which, okay, leads me back into this video. I mean, yes and no. That being said, it leads me back into the purpose of this video, which was the ability to change one's mind overall, really, but more specifically, as I was having that conversation with my mom and we were engaging in dialogue, I started to think, like, I'm 100% listening to you, and I'm listening to hear the underlying things. That's what I'm learning also in life. Listening to hear the underlying things that someone is trying to convey versus all the time the direct words that they're saying, which is pretty interesting. I mean, I'm listening to both, but it's like weighing the options. So I'm listening to my mom, and I'm remembering as a girl, like, just little instances where, for my safety and my protection, I couldn't do certain things. And I'm very grateful for my mom for protecting me and keeping me safe in that way.
Got me falling, this ain't Tommy laying over. I just pull out riding just like a couple five. I ain't lying, I ain't riding sober.
I'm trying to recall my train of thought. So I'm very grateful for my mom in those moments and all that she's instilled upon me. But that, however, now that I'm growing and I'm able to cautiously, consciously make my own decisions, it just makes me more excited and happy about the fact that, and grateful for the fact that I can do just that. I'm not sure what this is. Wait a minute. Bro, why does it look like homie is looking directly at me? Are you observing me? Observe you? Observe this? Yo! I know y'all see the eyes. And if I'm looking at your butt, that's crazy, but I know y'all... Wow. This is one of the books that I've been reading, and I probably just started on the second chapter, and this is also one of the reasons that's, I would say I've been getting back to my creative self, I would say. Simply things that are simply put in this book, and it's like, you know it, or I'll say it's like, I know it and I've seen it before. However, that's okay. I'm realizing that or a common thing that I've been paying attention to and that's been heavily on my mind is learning lessons as well as remembering. And I feel like they're synonymous. I mean, they're definitely synonymous with each other, but it feels, from my experience, like when I'm learning a lesson, I'm not truly learning it for the first time. It's like a remembrance of either an experience or a recollection, maybe from a past life, probably from a past life, or even in this life. And it's like, dang, I already knew that. But that makes me ask myself, like, why wasn't I locked out enough to remember to apply it? And then that's where the remembrance comes back in. So it's like, it's learning through this lesson. I remembered. And then also through this lesson, I was able to, or through this remembrance, I was able to get another lesson, or gain a lesson that I hadn't yet learned. And that's what I've been thinking about lately. And yeah, that's a really good book. I haven't even finished it yet. Like, I feel like from my reading, it's very simply put. And sometimes things don't need to be overcomplicated. I find myself having to remind myself that a lot between the dialogue, the internal dialogue that goes on in my head. You don't have to overcomplicate things. Things can be very simple. And also, my talk with Mr. Sharif yesterday also reminded me of that. It was so simple. It can all be so simple. Feel it. To go back into what I was talking about earlier, I am grateful for my mom's concern, but in our conversation, I was able to find that, or remember that I would say actively why you skipped the song? It sounded interesting. I've been, since learning how to play the guitar and the ukulele and whatever instruments that shall be coming next. Actually, I know what instruments shall be coming next, but I'll keep that to myself for the moment, for the time being. I'm gonna write it down though. That's what I will do. There's some young boys riding their bikes around the same strip that I'm at. To describe the feeling that I've been feeling recently is like having the cheat code and knowing that the cheat code is gonna work because it's the cheat code, and then typing in the cheat code and it actually works. And it's like, oh, I'll give you a better one. It's like, just because of who you are, someone gives you a blank check. And they're like, you can write in whatever number, whatever figure you want to. And you can take it to the bank. And you can cash it out. And it will not bounce. It will not decline. Just because of who you are. That's how it feels. And it's like, dang, now I have a blank check. What number am I gonna write in? Am I gonna write a number in? It's like the little white things that are attached to dandelions, or not attached to, but they're always accompanied by dandelions. They probably are attached to dandelions. These right here. I just saw one of those float. Whoa, okay, boom, right there. Oh, that just reminded me of being a little girl and running after church into the field and like just blowing these or picking them up just whenever. I wonder if I ever used to make a wish when I blew them. I don't think I did. Yeah, that's what that reminded me of. Look at the bird. Okay, let me get back to my analogy. I've strayed away twice now. But it's like I have the check now. And I have the pen. I can write any numerical value, any figure that I so desire in, and it's going to cash out divinely and gracefully. And you take that check to the bank, but before you take that check to the bank, me personally, I don't know about you, but me personally, I'm writing, what am I writing? I'm writing an infinity sign in. Like, it's never, as long as my soul carries on, and it will, that check will be good. It will suffice. It will more than suffice. It will be abundant. It will overflow. It is abundant. It is overflowing. And you go to the bank and you cash in the check. And like I said, it doesn't bounce. It's like, that's how life's been feeling recently, and I know it will continue to feel that way. So long as I have myself in order. And that's mentally, spiritually. No, let me switch that around. That's spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Fifth one. Divinely, truthfully. Yes. But it's like you go to the bank and you're like, thank you. Thank you. Like that's how it feels. That's how it feels. I can feel like the energy moving throughout my body. Like my foot is buzzing right now. I have it intertwined with this I hope you guys don't mind, but I have it intertwined here with this dandelion stem, which is actually breaking off or separating into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, soon to be 6, 7 different expressions of itself, of its singular self. That's crazy. That is so divine, man. Ashe. The original thought process I had for making this video was to say that I'm grateful for maturation and the fact that at any point I can change my mind on things that were to perceive to be as concrete or hardwired. On learning, I would say. The ability to change my mind and unlearn something, like that is beautiful and that is profound. To be able to say, don't choose for that to be my path. I don't choose for that to be my truth. That is not my truth. To be able to say that and embrace that it feels rejuvenating and it feels empowering. And I aspire for everyone to feel that way about whatever it is in life. Like if it's something that recently that hasn't been aligning with you, you feel as though it hasn't been aligning with you, or you just simply disagree. You have the power to change that. You have the power to shift your perspective at any given point in time, so long as you allow yourself and align yourself with truth. And what truth is to you, yes. But as my mom says to me whenever I start to stutter, Jasmine, take your time. Slow down, think about what you want to say. So I'm allowing myself to slow down and take my time and think about what it is that I want to say. I came to like the same spot. Did you leave pheromones behind? Or did the homie leave pheromones behind? Or are you picking up a scent? A scent of something else? Would it be? Would it be? I'm sitting here poached up on what is attached to a abandoned, I don't know what this building was, but an abandoned something. And there's just rocks along the side, and in front of me is a abandoned bank. Hi! There's an abandoned bank. And there's beauty in that, in the simplicity. And so my mom, okay, so basically, the original story, I believe, my mother was telling me of her, cautioning me and letting me know that she was concerned and just wanted me to understand that she wants me to be safe. And I'm very grateful for that. And with all due cause, because like in that one story that I was telling her about the other day that I had yesterday that I talked to several strangers. I'm not gonna sit here and try and recount, but in like prolongation, is that a word? In prolongation, it was like four main characters that I talked to. And my mom was like, you can't just be talking to strangers. But I think that's why society is starting to look the way it does now. Because we don't talk to each other. We don't speak with each other. And I understand not everybody you need to talk to. I'm not discrediting that at all. However, it's just being able to experience someone else. Because really, we're all the same. We're different in a vast majority of ways, but we're really all the same. We come from the same person, or the same being, or the same entity, the same God, the same So why would we not want to talk to ourselves? Why would we not want to talk to each other? You You know how good it feels when you go to the store and you get a compliment, and it doesn't even have to be a long, prolonged conversation with somebody. But you know how good it feels when you go to the store, you get a compliment from a stranger. It looked like a cardinal and a blue jay. They just flew into that tree. Oh, let me see if I can catch them. I don't know about this. Alright, gentlemen. Oh, there. Oh, hi. I see a cardinal just about every day, and each time I see a cardinal, I have the same gleeful joy and excitement. Because God made you a bright, bursting red. You were meant to stand out, and you know what? You deserve that recognition. And that's the same way that we as humans deserve that recognition. And it doesn't have to be boisterous, it doesn't have to be loud, it doesn't have to be, hey, look at me because I'm doing this thing, but just a simple smile at a stranger. A compliment. I feel a sneeze coming. A compliment to tell someone that you like their smile. You never know if they grew up hearing that you oh, excuse me. Oh, that was a good sneeze. You never know if you grew up hearing, if that person grew up hearing, oh, you have an ugly smile, or your teeth are crooked, or different things of that sort. And for a complete stranger to witness excuse me, for oh, is that blood? Is my nose bleeding? Am I hot? My nose is bleeding. That's fun. For a complete stranger to be able to stop and witness that and find admiration in that, and not in the sense that one should require. And sometimes we say, oh, we don't need outward validation, and it's not a necessity, but let's not ignore the fact that it's when it's genuine, when it's coming from a place of love and it's real, it's a very beautiful thing, and it charges a person. Not only the person as the receiver, but the individual who's giving the compliment. You're allowing yourself to witness to them just how beautiful it is that they are, or that thing is that you notice. I'm gonna Shazam this song. I'm so happy I'm recording right now. He said, that was profound what he just said. That's it right there. You never know where someone's at. You never know where someone's going, but you coming in contact with them, even if it's a small passing by on the road, or noticing the way in which they wear their garments, or they choose to express themselves. You never know what that does for a person. You know it. I think we should allow ourselves more space to experience that and to interact with others. Not out of what they can offer, but for the fact that they're a human being. Despite any flaws or things that you may not agree upon, they are a human being. For example, the other day I was in Kroger's, yesterday. I was roaming through the aisles trying to look for several different things. And I'm reading the ingredients, and that's what took me so long. Reading the ingredients, that is a very important thing to do. And so I'm reading the ingredients, and I'm like, I can't get that. All right, go ahead and put this back down. And I'm reading the ingredients, I'm like, okay, I can't get this, but let me see what's in it that I can use and I would like to use, and is it harmful for me, and just replicate it myself. Because I have that capability, and I will allow myself to do it. And I was waiting in the international aisle because I wanted to read this rice seasoning, Japanese rice seasoning, because I knew there was something in it that I didn't really want to necessarily continue to use in the future, but I had gotten it before and it was really good, and I'm like, okay, well, let me look at the other ingredients and see what's in here that I can use and replicate at home. And so I'm waiting, and there's this elderly gentleman standing in front of me, kind of sort of in the area where I was waiting to look myself, and I didn't want to disrupt him. I wanted him to be able to be comfortable and finish his train of thought or his search for whatever he was looking for. And I hadn't noticed that I noticed he had a hat on, but I didn't see what was written on his hat. And I was standing kind of off. I was off-standish a little bit, just waiting, giving him his space, giving him his space to make his decision, when two young boys, they came up to him and they shook his hand, and it looked like they didn't call him by his name, so that told me, okay, they don't per se know him directly, but they came up to him and they shook his hand. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. I wonder what made them do that. It doesn't appear as though they already know him from, I don't know, from Jack. So after a couple of more seconds passed by and they went on along their way, the gentleman, he finally started shuffling away from the area. Not shuffling, but moving away from the area at his pace. As he was moving, I was able to see his hat, which read something along the lines of veteran. And considering our social and political climate at the moment, I'm rolling my eyes because that's why I sound PC, but considering our social and political climate at the moment, things can feel uneasy, and like, because people share a difference in view. But just the fact that those young boys, they stopped and they acknowledged that he gave a large portion of his time in life, or some portion of his time in life, which all of our time in life holds a significance. So the fact that he gave his time to something that he could have potentially lost his life. I'm not agreeing with war at all, but I'm acknowledging that he gave his time and whatever else that may have came with it, and whatever else that he may have lost in spite of it, or even gained. It was still a good duration of his life that, you know, he could have split into an alternate universe and done something differently, but they were able to see that and acknowledge that and shake his hand And that moment felt warm, and I'm grateful for having been able to witness it. Because it makes me sit and think, like, no, I don't agree with war. But that doesn't take away from the fact that you are a human being, as I am a human being. Somos unos. Somos uno. We are one. A good friend told me that, Taylor. Yes, we are one, and just ant trying to get freaky, climbing on my armpits. That tickles, don't do that. Being able to acknowledge that we are one, and whatever, in all the ways that we are different, we are the same in the simplest form. Makes me think that's like the purpose of the way our society nowadays or today is set up anyway. There's a plethora of vast majority of distractions that are set out to do just that, to distract us and create a environment of divisiveness and disdain and discomfort. And I believe to help bridge that gap, to allow healing to occur, allow cleansing to occur, because healing can only occur after the cleansing. So to begin cleansing is to do just that, is to talk to strangers in the smallest of ways. Hi, how are you doing? Good, how are you? I like your hair, or I like your shoes, or I like the way you smiled, or the way you choose to don yourself today was beautiful. Just that small thing, you never know how that moment switches in the person's mind and how it resonates and how you can liberate one by liberating yourself. And that's a very important lesson I've been learning recently. And I will continue to learn, and I'm grateful to be learning that lesson. Ashe. Ashe. There was something else that I wanted to say. I'm trying to remember before my camera goes out. A bird flew by. I know I'm on the right path. That's what it was. A prime example of you're able to create your circumstances however they may look in the environment or the position that you find yourself in. You're able to create your circumstances. Right now, I've been sitting here on the corner street of a road, and cars have been coming by, some making louder noises than others. Thank you. Some making louder noises than others, and I, knowing myself, a bird and a butterfly just flew by. Double gratitude, man. I, knowing myself, I know I like to talk quietly and low most of the time. And so instead of overexerting myself or getting irritated at the fact that we're overstimulated, at the fact that my nose started bleeding, and then maybe choosing to leave instead of staying and unraveling this moment, I listened as the cars came by, and when they grew louder, I gave myself the opportunity to pause and say, I'm gonna wait, because maybe I'm gonna wait because this has been sent here for me to change my perspective. This has been sent here There's an ant currently exploring my universe. Mans is... I feel like Mans is trying to make his way back up to my armpit. I don't know if it's proper. I don't know if it's the same ant. I didn't kill it, so it could be. Yes, that's what I was saying. Being able to stop and allow myself to wait until silence rang out again and I can clearly articulate myself, or I can change my thought on what it was that I was about to say, or how I would decide to articulate myself in a moment. So look, just like this, it comes off even more profound because I'm going from the top, but things are marinating. So instead of getting annoyed that cars are passing by with loud music that I may not particularly care to listen to myself, I'm grateful for the opportunity that it's providing me to enter another realm, to change directions, to stop and think, or to prepare myself to switch the camera angles, or to reset and remember what it is that I was trying to say, you know? It's things like that. Allowing yourself to accept moments for what they are and find or choose, not even find, but to allow yourself to choose the outcome in which is most desirable for you, in which you would like to align for. Choose to see the glass half full. To choose your perspective. Like another one. Yesterday, when I was sitting in the car, the sun felt good, and it feels good right now because I'm fueling my body with things that are just that. They're fueling, and I don't feel drained. I feel very relaxed. I feel very calm. I feel very at one. I feel centered. I am centered. I am relaxed. I am calm. I am at one. And those same I ams that are today, they were yesterday, and they will be tomorrow. Because I choose that. That is a decision that I am allowing myself to make. So yesterday I could have gotten irritated about the fact that I'm sitting in a hot car for like 2 to 3 hours, 1 to 2 hours, whatever. Because I was getting sidetracked in myself while waiting for my brother to send me his address so I can mail him his mail. But I embraced that moment. I enjoyed every last drop of it. You understand me? Every last pour of sweat. You know? And had I not, I wouldn't have met Mr. Sharif, and we wouldn't have had that beautiful connection. And I won't say I wouldn't, but I don't know what would have occurred. But I know something of abundance and beauty and grace would have occurred. But I don't know if I would have been on this same direct trajectory. And this understanding of knowledge and awareness that I have at this moment would have occurred at this moment. I know it would have occurred at some point, but at this moment. I hope, if nothing else, to bring to your awareness the fact that you have the choice to choose. You have the choice to liberate thyself. You have the choice to cleanse thyself. You have the choice to wave at a stranger passing in traffic. You have a choice to, when someone beeps at you crazy, I'm talking about, you just know they're cursing you out with the beeps that's coming from their car. You have the choice to smile and regulate your emotions and say, that's not my problem. And I may have messed up on the road, or maybe I may not have. But your aggression towards the situation isn't my issue, and I choose not to hold that. I choose to release that. I choose to let that go. I choose not to allow that instance or circumstance or environment to bring me down. I think that's the main one here. I choose. And with that, I say, Ashe. I pray that this touched someone and that these words resonated. And if they did so, and you feel it in your spirit, leave a like, send a share, and subscribe, my dear. Until we meet again.